Hey, flicking fanatics. This is Pastor Dad Fox, and now we are going to be reacting to Amazon's Lord of the Rings of Power, Episode 2. See you on the other side. So let's dig right in. Still can't believe she sailed all the way to the shores of Valinor and then turned back. Hopefully a ship came to pick her up out of the water. All right, the Harfoots are still one of the better parts of episode 1. Really looking forward to seeing how they continue to build on that. And the cliffhanger at the end of the first episode is the Meteorite Man. And that's where the recap leaves off. Okay, I'm loving this opening title sequence with the sand kind of creating all the imagery from the different areas, as well as the rings, and then coming back to the Rings of Power. Cool visual effect. I'm digging it. All right, we're picking up with Galadriel floating in the sundering seas all alone. Okay, if Ulmo, the god of waters or the Lord of Waters, shows up to take her back, it would be awesome. Nope. She's going to swim the thousands of miles. All right, well, they're fighting and she falls down into the pit with Meteorite Man, but it's not hot. It's not burning her. Good jump scare. She touches the dead man laying in the pit. He does nothing, and then he grabs a hold of her. Your mom's gonna kill you. Okay. If you come across a pit where a guy laying inside, probably not wise to climb inside and poke him. He can't be an elf because he's not handsome. It's hard for them to pull him because he's a giant, even though he's man-sized. 3 seasons will be our fault. If fog lasts a little too long, this is like out of Monty Python. They leave him in the wagon and it starts rolling away downhill. So the Harfoots are essentially going to be a bit of comedy relief. This is pretty good. Why are you doing this, Nori? Nori's really happy about finding the guy and trying to help him, and Poppy's like, no, this is not good. You need to stop this. I can't walk away from that, not till I know he's safe. Nori feeling as though she was destined to find him. It's a lot of times characters from a small village or a small place or a small town have the desire and wish to be some part of something bigger than what they are, and you can see that feeling. I said it last episode, and I'll say it again. I really like Arondir.
I must follow the passage the other direction.
I don't know what's down
there. Ooh, something dug that passage. This makes me think that Arondir is going to go search out a Balrog. Oh, here it goes. Ah, he wants to say more, looks her in the eyes, but he won't do it. Now he's down in the tunnels with it. Eregion, realm of the Elven Smiths. This is where Celebrimbor.
Have you considered seeking partners outside the confines of our own race?
Oh, needs to build a forge. And here's where Elrond will build a partnership with the dwarves in Khazad-dûm, which, by the way, Celebrimbor also made the gate to Khazad-dûm, that it was between the two trees and was illuminated by moonlight. Turned away at the front door. Elrond essentially is under arrest and being taken in. Almost like he just sued for parlay. All right, Cause of Doom is incredible. There's Durin. That's Durin the Fourth.
The dwarven test of endurance, fashioned by Aule himself.
Oh, they mentioned Aule. Aule invented or created the dwarves.
We shall break the great stones until one of us can break no more. Should the elf forfeit, he will be banished from all dwarven.
Elrond invoked basically a trial of endurance, but Aule is one of the Valar. He created the dwarves. He was a smith and made things with his hands. He created the dwarves because he was impatient for Iluvatar to bring forward his creation of elves and men, and so he made dwarves because that's what was in his heart to make. And Iluvatar was upset about the dwarves and refused for them to come along before the elves. But because Aule made them by his own hands, he allowed them to remain, but he wouldn't alter them or reshape them anyway. So they are exactly as Aule made them. And so dwarves are basically made in the image of Aule, or Aule, one of the Valar. And he is the Valar who is set about teaching elves, men, and dwarves on how to make things. Pretty sweet that they are referencing quite a few of the Valar in this show. So essentially, it's a battle of breaking stones. Going to be quite the challenge. And he's drawing some runes and passages, almost like stars, on a rock. If this is supposed to be Gandalf, they've done a much better job getting scale correct as far as the height of men versus the height of hobbits or Harfoots.
I'm Nori.
Oh, she's using a modified like sign language.
Of course they do, Nori. What a silly question.
And she's brought a lovely dinner of snails. Delicious. And he's eating them snails and all, or shells and all on the snails. Delicious. Okay, so Dad turned and messed his ankle up pretty bad.
You saw him. Wouldn't put the weight of a leaf on that leg, much less pull a cart.
Mind your own fire, Malva.
That lady's basically a town gossip. Oh, and Galadriel is still swimming the English Channel. Ooh, if this is Olmo, it's the best. Ooh, I wonder if this is where we're going to find Halbrand. There's people just floating on a raft. Giant sea monster. When it's just went right underneath their ship. Here comes the tail. It's like a giant goblin shark, but Moby Dick size, but double that. Galadriel had the wherewithal to swim away from the ship. Looks like just one person made it, Halbrand. And Halbrand and Galadriel are going to create quite a pairing here. All right, back to Durin versus Elrond, the battle of endurance, smashing rocks, one after the next. Elrond lost. But I think he did it intentionally. He overswung. He lays down the sword, or the axe, or hammer, technically, and defers to Durin.
Perhaps his lordship would be willing to escort me to the exit.
Gladly.
So Elrond asked if Durin the Fourth would escort him out. That way he could have a conversation with him. Amazing elevator.
20 years may be the blink of an eye to an elf. But I've lived an entire life in that time. A life you missed.
20 years to an elf is nothing. 20 years to a dwarf is a lot longer. And Durin the Fourth is upset at Elrond for missing out.
Congratulations on your wife, your children. I hope you can come to forgive me.
Elrond is a wonderful politician and statesman. Right thing at the right time. All right, so we're introduced to Disa.
I've been remiss in not visiting sooner. An oversight for which I am here to humbly ask forgiveness.
You're staying for dinner.
Durin forbade him to stay for dinner, and Disa invited him to the table. Holy mackerel, that is awesome. The children running around with giant helms, headbutting each other. And they have shafts of light breaking into the mines of Moria, and they have trees planted where the shafts of light hit.
Indeed.
Should have been at the wedding.
Enough.
Disa is much quicker to offer forgiveness.
There is love, it is never truly dark. How could it not grow in a home like yours?
Man, Elrond's good. All right, back to the ship. Or actually, let's say raft, not ship.
The way I see it, it wasn't elves that chased me from my homeland. It was orcs.
Halbrand was chased by orcs from his homeland. All right, so that's a little bit of a reveal for the background of the character of Halbrand.
Is that the mark of your people's king?
My people have no king.
But if they did, where might that kingdom be found?
To what end? Afraid you're short an army.
Leave the army to me. Why are you dodging the question?
Why are you stranded at sea?
Because rather than rest in glory.
Wonder if he's from Angmar. Storm is breaking over the water. Again, I said it last episode, the soundtrack for this show is incredible. Oh, okay, that was a good one. Bronwyn's son thinking mice were under the floor, smashing the floor, and a big eye looked up through the floor at him, like a troll's eye. Yes, I would be doing exactly what he's doing, which would be booking for my life. You know you're in trouble when the rats are outrunning you to get out. Alright, he slid through into a cavern, he's underwater. He's gonna get grabbed from behind. And the hole that he made in the floor is now giant. And her son's gone. Oh, whew. He hid. Thank goodness. Hiding in the closet. Oh, man. It's like an evil, demonic goblin orc thing. Let's get your blood pumping a little bit. She found her evidence. Holy crap. They got lucky in that storm that raft hadn't floated too far away. Whew. Maybe this is Radagast. He's got a deep connection with nature.
Tell me, do you not think it's a coincidence that an elf should just land on our doorstep? Now,
I've known Elrond for half a century, Father. I'd sense it if you were hiding something.
I think they just discovered Mithril. Fun note: Galadriel's ring of power is made of mithril. She has the best one. That's a cursed blade. That's the blade of the Witch King of Angmar.
You ready?
Yes, Mother. I'm ready.
Oh, that poor kid doesn't know what he's getting into. Such an ominous ending to an episode. And then Galadriel and Halbrand washing up ashore. Wonder if that's Círdan. All right, doesn't appear as though there's anything after. No post credits, anything in this episode. Awesome episode again. The storyline seems awesome. I really like the character development. Really loved how they are starting to introduce and interweave all these different storylines. The elves, the men with the Rondir. Now we're getting into the dwarves in the second episode. The relationship between Elrond and Thorin. Curious to see how this relationship will pan out as well with Galadriel. And at some point here soon, we're going to find out about the Númenóreans. We haven't heard anything about them yet. They haven't been introduced. And that's got to be just around the corner. Another great episode. Thoroughly pleased with how this one turned out too. Let me know what you guys think, and we will talk to you guys later.